Welcome back to the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. And today we're going to go over what we see in the stars for AMC for the week starting on June 1st. Before we get started, I just want to give a congratulations to everyone that's been holding since January. Congratulations to all the Moon Lords and everyone who's just been in this incredible journey, whether you're in AMC or GME. It's been amazing. You guys know I've been here doing the analysis, financial astrology analysis, since this whole thing started. And we all know that I've been right more than I've been wrong. And we definitely know this is DD. You definitely can't get anywhere else other than the Market Moon Lords. And don't forget to check us out at the Discord. And that's definitely a place where you're going to get content and information on the whole situation that you're not going to find anywhere else, including on this YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't watched the moon phase video, okay, this video is the part 2 version of that video. Okay, so do not watch this video without watching that video, because that's the base of all the DD, the moon phases. Okay, but what we're going to be doing here is looking at the stars to get an idea of what's going to be happening this week for AMC price action. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Definitely going to be dropping videos each and every week like we've been doing since January. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, guys, if you enjoy content like this and you want to get more of this DD coming from the Moon Lords. Okay, so let's jump into the charts. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited about this week. Last week was awesome. Okay, so I'm definitely anticipating this week to be exciting, to say the least. All right, so let's go. Welcome to the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. Okay, you can see up here that we have June 1st, 2021 for AMC birth chart, which you can find up here. That's the date and time. I know there's been quite a few astrologers also looking at these videos, and they've been asking me about the time. So there's the time. We rectified the chart, which we spoke about several times. We know the time is 9:30 a.m. Market open. Now, we have Tuesday up, and the very biggest thing about Tuesday is we're now entering Tuesday with a Mercury retrograde. Mercury just went retrograde over the weekend, and that's the R right here. Now, typically when Mercury goes retrograde in the stock market in general, it represents a downtrend, okay? Because Mercury is all about numbers and communication, and then when it pulls back, it's like we have to go back and relook at things, retune things, okay? And things tend to break during Mercury retrograde, especially technology. So during this time, guys, strategy needs to be on point this week. And during the remaining of Mercury retrograde. I mean, Mercury retrograde is all about strategizing, planning, carrying out the plan. Okay, it's also about making sure that you're not forgetting to cross the T's and dot the I's. Okay, now I won't be surprised if we have some technology issues coming into this week or the following weeks during this Mercury retrograde. But on the flip side, you know, a lot of times when the market starts going down, AMC starts going up. Okay, so we have that going for us, but we cannot deny that we have a lot. We have Mercury retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Pluto retrograde, and we're about to have a Jupiter retrograde. So there's a ton of retrogrades happening. Okay, and that is definitely significant. But this particular retrograde for AMC, you can see here, Mercury is aspecting the sun, all right, and it's 2 degrees, and the sun for AMC is 26 degrees, that Mercury is 24 degrees. So it was right to go, it was headed to go right opposite, right? And right when it got there, to be exact, it started going this way again, okay? So that tells me Mercury is going to go back this way, and then come back again this way and then go exactly opposite. So when it goes exactly opposite of the sun after it goes direct again, I'm expecting something big. The Discord already knows what I'm expecting. I talked about this and I gave some dates there for that particular time where Mercury goes direct. Now, another cool thing about Mercury, a thing about Mercury go direct right here is it's actually lining up to where Mercury and the sun look like they're going to meet on the new moon all together, kind of opposite these areas. Okay. So that's going to be interesting to me. I'm definitely excited for the new moon around that area. And I'm also excited for Mercury going direct. Now, Mercury going retrograde on top of AMC's sun tells me, sun is attention, it's authority, it's illumination. It's also the management, the CEO, the company reputation. Mercury's communication, news, contracts, just overall attention. Okay, with when you have the communication planet and then the planet of illumination meeting each other. Okay, so it's like everyone's eyes are on AMC right now. We saw AMC's like trending on Twitter every day, and it's like, oh, everyone's going back to AMC, and it's like everyone's looking at AMC again. Everyone's like, maybe I should reinvest. Maybe I should think about getting back into it. Okay, so I do suspect that's what this retrograde is talking about. It's like everyone's like going back on the first plan on AMC, the shorters, all right, the hedge funds, the institutions, the market makers, all of them, and then the people who weren't, that didn't believe in AMC, they're now rethinking things. Mercury retrograde on AMC sun. So that's how I'm interpreting this retrograde. Now, I won't be surprised if there's some type of behind the scenes work happening with the management of AMC, and we're going to get some news when the Mercury goes direct. So there does look like there's some behind the scenes things happening, and it does look like it could be merger type activity because this is happening around Venus, and it is also happening in the sign of Gemini, which is all about networking, bringing people together. Okay, so I'm very, very interested on that, but I do suspect that we could be getting things coming out of nowhere, news coming out of nowhere that makes us rethink or makes us reanalyze or makes other people rethink, reanalyze. Okay, so Mercury retrograde, yeah, it's probably going to be eventful. Now, another thing about this situation is the sun also is opposite Venus. Okay, Venus is all about money. It's all about the people. It's all about the finer things in life. Venus also represents the artist. Venus also represents balance and harmony. Okay, so it opposite the sun also tells me that, hey, more attention, more love, more harmony, more money. This could also mean more opportunities with AMC and their business partners. So this is very, very fun energy of like, hey, things are brewing up, things are rebalancing, things. Remember, oppositions are opportunities, guys. Okay, and typically it's the obstacle that turns to an opportunity. Venus is very lucky. Okay, over here. All right. Or Venus Venus just wants to give you what you want, okay, and it does pretty good in Venus and Gemini energy, and it's heading towards the moon of AMC. So I'm looking forward what Venus is bringing up here. The most interesting thing going on Tuesday on AMC is what's happening with the moon. Now, the moon, first of all, is exactly conjunct. Well, pretty much exactly conjunct, and it will be exactly conjunct in the pre-market. Jupiter in the sky. Now, we've been anticipating this whole Jupiter energy here because Jupiter represents expansion, and it's on top of Neptune, which represents Hollywood, and it's in the sign of Pisces, which also represents Hollywood. So, when Jupiter went in the first degree of Neptune, we were saying, yeah, that's really good expansion energy for AMC. Sure enough, Jupiter, like days after Jupiter went into Pisces, all this happened. Okay, now on the last eclipse, it was exactly 5 degrees Sag. So I was like right there. Now, this moon starting off this week is exactly square that eclipse, meaning it's one of these red angles, red lines. Okay. Now, that is definitely volatility. Which way, I absolutely couldn't tell you. The thing about squares is it creates friction, which creates traction, which creates movement and quick movement. So I can tell you Tuesday is it's volatile. Now, me personally, this is a bullish energy to me, even though it does square that eclipse, which typically would say, this is whatever happened on the eclipse, we could get the opposite energy type thing on the square to that eclipse, right? But since the moon is with Jupiter, and we know Jupiter is all about expansion during this square, to me, this is just like this is like a slingshot. Because now we got a lot of friction, and then we have the moon right in a square with it, but with Jupiter direct on top of Neptune. That to me looks pretty expansive. It just may not be good news. The square is going to be squaring the hedge funds. It's going to be bad news for the hedge funds, right? So that's very, very, very interesting that we're starting this week right where the moon is at a square to that eclipse. But it is conjunct Jupiter, and Jupiter is lucky as F. Now, another thing I want to talk about with this is Memorial Weekend. We know people go to movies during Memorial Weekend, and this right here, Jupiter, the moon coming into Jupiter, and in the sign of Pisces, Jupiter in the sign of Pisces on top of Neptune, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people going to the movies this weekend. I guarantee it. Not to mention Venus opposite the sun will also say that. So news coming into the week, I guarantee we're going to get a lot of good news on AMC with people going to the theaters. And Tuesday to me definitely looks positive. We don't see any aspects to Saturn, which is always something that I like seeing. If we go over here to Saturn, no aspects. Transiting Saturn, no aspects. So typically when I see things happening with Saturn, it can kind of suppress things a little bit. On AMC, GME, it's a different story there. Now, the midheaven of AMC is also getting a nice trine to Neptune and a nice trine to Mars. So people taking action on AMC on Tuesday. There's a lot of energy on AMC on Tuesday. And then the moon is sextiling Uranus over there. And there's actually a lot of positive aspects. And the only square happening here would be the actual Mercury square Neptune, but we can see that's loosening up. Neptune is now 23 degrees, so it's 3 degrees away. So all the deception energy, guys, it is dying. Okay, there's no more. There's a lot of the things that's getting revealed. There's no more. AMC has dealt with most of the deception, but now we're just fine tuning things with the Mercury retrograde. All right, so let's go to Wednesday. Coming into Wednesday, we definitely had a shift of energy. The first thing that I noticed is Venus is no longer aspecting the sun. It was opposite of the sun. So a lot of that attention that we were getting for about the new movies is starting to probably fizzle out, probably coming into Wednesday. And we're on to a new energy. I mean, Venus is 0 degrees. You guys know the last degree of any sign, the 29th degree, or the first degree of any sign, the 0 degree, are very, very most powerful degrees of a zodiac sign when a planet is transiting it, right? So on Tuesday, Venus was at 29 degrees, and now on Wednesday, Venus will be 0 degrees Cancer and a whole nother energy, okay? So definitely expect quick shifts, quick movement, both days, Tuesday and Wednesday, based on that factor. But it's almost like Venus is finishing a chapter with the sun. It was doing a lot of communication, potentially working behind the scenes, making things come together, networking. Now Venus coming into Cancer, and now the energy is more focused on the people. Okay, Cancer is about the masses, especially companies that are serving the masses. Cancer is a hospitality sign, so it's very AMC type energy. Look at AMC's Cancer energy has an exalted Jupiter, has a moon at home. Okay, so obviously this is actually a big deal for Venus to be coming into Cancer and activating this moon and Jupiter energy for AMC, which is very expansive energy because Jupiter expands things, and Venus has to do with money, harmony, abundance, the finer things of life, the artists, the actor, the actress, the actor. All right, that is actually Venus. Okay, so expect all types of. I'm still waiting for actors to come out and speak about this. Maybe this is when it's going to happen. Maybe Venus coming into Cancer is the actors wanting to take care of AMC now. Okay, the actresses and actors maybe participating more. I didn't really check it out. I did see something on Vin Diesel and SNL. If anyone knows anything about that, drop it down below. Let us know what's going on with that. If anybody knows of any actresses or actors or directors or anyone in Hollywood who's been talking about it, let us know. But I'm expecting something like that to happen as Venus comes into Cancer. I'm also expecting potentially, we've been talking about mergers and stuff like that. This could definitely represent that as well. Venus coming into Cancer, meeting the moon and Jupiter. It's very expansive energy. Venus can represent mergers, communication, deals. Most importantly, Venus represents money. Okay. Now, another thing that was different about today is this aspect with Uranus. Uranus is trine Pluto, -1 degrees, but it's been sextiling AMC's moon right there for like a month. Okay, and it's from Tuesday to Wednesday, it's no longer aspecting AMC's moon. So it's almost like we're in a new energy and a new chapter. Okay, so I am going to look at some of these aspects on the financial astrology historical data on AMC, just so we can get a better idea on what this, what we should be looking for coming into Wednesday. Okay, so typically when the moon is in Pisces, we usually get some pretty decent movement on AMC. And so based on that and based on the past, that is looking like Wednesday, we are good to go. Another thing I want to say about Wednesday is if I go 6 hours ahead of time, we're now at 3:30, which would be, in the power hour. And look what the moon does towards the end of the day. It makes an exact trine to Jupiter. We know Jupiter is expansive energy. An exact trine to Saturn. Now, Saturn is like exactly opposite of Jupiter energy, right? It does the exact opposite. It suppresses things. However, we know that Jupiter is way stronger than Saturn in this chart. Jupiter is exalted. Okay. And the moon is also in really good shape, being in the sign of Hollywood Pisces. Okay. So, yeah, based on this information, I'm liking what I see for Wednesday. Let's jump over to Thursday. Real quick, as I was traveling to Thursday, I noticed something on Wednesday after market. Basically, the moon, whenever it hits Mercury, we get a lot of volatility. Okay, and this Mercury square, the moon, definitely has moved the stock over 20% either direction. This is happening, especially from this position. Historically, has the moon has moved the stock a lot with this square to Mercury, and it has gone green more than it's gone red, but it's usually a hard move. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on Wednesday after hours. Okay, let's jump over to Thursday. Thursday definitely looks interesting. We no longer have the Mercury opposite the sun over here, and now Venus is now making a aspect to Jupiter, and that's really, really, really nice to see. Or excuse me, it's making an aspect to Neptune and Jupiter in the sky. So yeah, it's making a trine to the natal Neptune of AMC, and since Jupiter is right on top of the Jupiter is right on top of Neptune right there, it's also trining that Jupiter. Okay, so Venus trine Jupiter and Neptune, the sign of artist, the sign of the money, trining the sign of Hollywood, trining the sign of expansion, and the sign of Pisces, which is also Hollywood, and Venus is in the sign of AMC's moon and expansive Jupiter, while the natal Venus of AMC is now getting a positive sextile to the moon. Suddenly on Thursday, we jump into all this Venus energy, positive Venus energy at that. I don't really have to, this is extremely positive. Now, the only negative thing that happened on this day would be the sun square the moon, and it is 0 degrees. However, remember the sun is in the moon is in Pisces. Okay, so this is for Hollywood. Okay, so overall, Thursday comes in really strong, and the moon square the sun could just be us taking more action on AMC, more eyes on AMC, more attention on AMC. All this Venus energy would suggest really good news for the people. Okay, Venus is all about balance, harmony amongst people. Okay, and especially in the sign of Cancer, which is all about hospitality. So I'm actually really excited to see what happens on Thursday. Let's jump over to Friday. Real quick, before we jump into Friday, on Thursday, right before market close, literally 10 minutes before it closes, we get the moon going 0 degrees in Aries. We know Aries is like a spark. Aries is the first sign. It's all about moving fast. It's high energy. It's very, very, very energetic, quick moving energy. Now, historically speaking, when the moon hits this area, last degree of Pisces, beginning of Aries, it has moved the stock more positive than negative, but it is a volatility. Historical data says it's volatile. So I do suggest on Thursday after hours, definitely after hours pre-market. So far, there's a lot of astrology going on there. Okay, for Wednesday, and now on Thursday, I'm seeing it after market. We have to definitely keep an eye out for those days. All right, let's go to Thursday. Let's go to Friday. Okay, so Friday, we definitely had some serious changes. The first two things that I see that are big is Mars is no longer making that positive trine to the midheaven of AMC, which is the company's reputation. Mars is like energy. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just that the aspect is no longer there. So that could show a little bit of shift of energy. Okay, maybe a different type of action is being taken on AMC around this time on Friday. And I know a lot of options do expire on Friday. So yeah, we could probably expect some type of warfare on Friday. Okay. Now, another thing, we could definitely see the moon make some serious changes. I could tell you, whenever the moon's here, it's making a square to the AMC's moon. There's been several times when AMC squares AMC's moon, we get 15% or more of a gain. There was a couple times. No, there was only one time where it was a bad loss, but most of the time, that's actually the square, even though, remember, the squares create friction, which creates traction, okay? And we know Pluto is like transformation. So Friday is definitely, without a doubt, going to be volatile. Based on historical data, the moon square moon works in our favor, but that's definitely a major trend shift. We still have a very positive aspect to Venus. Is actually 0 degrees Neptune still, and that, since it's 2 degrees, that's making a positive aspect to our north node that's in 6 degrees for AMC. So yeah, Friday looks extremely volatile, and not to mention it's on top of Uranus and the sign of Aries. Okay, so Friday is going to be eventful. It's probably going to be fast moving stuff, but overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing for the week. But we do have to respect that we are in a waning moon. And the Moon Lords knows what that means when we're in a waning moon. But overall, the chart itself looks pretty positive. So that is my financial astrology analysis for AMC for the week starting in June 1st. Remember, if you watch this video before watching the part 1 of this video, which goes over the moon phases, make sure you check that out to get a full picture of what's happening this week, especially regarding the waning moon. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like to show support. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe, because this is definitely DD you can't get anywhere else. Also, if you want the DD from all the Moon Lords and exclusive DD from us and me, just check us out at the Market Moon Lord Discord. Also, special shout out to all the Moon Lords in the Discord. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I also appreciate the AMC community for watching my videos. You guys let me know what you think about this week. And yeah, until next time, I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. You're watching the Market Moon Lord, where we merge information with the stars. Until next time, peace.
Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune.